Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Kristina outdid herself this time when she slammed the brakes on what she mistook for Ava's vehicle. She took Rick's car instead as Rick was parked in Ava's place. Kristina recognized what she had done and tried to stop Ava from driving, but it was too late because she had fiddled with someone else's car. Rick was driving Elizabeth home when he crashed. In a sneak peek video posted on abc.com, Kristina comes upon the crash site while driving toward Ava's house and is shocked by what she sees. Rick has sustained a catastrophic head injury and is bleeding profusely as first responders work to save him. However, we don't know what Elizabeth's condition is. The Monday preview, which aired at the end of Friday's episode, also shows Lucky entering the scene. He had taken off after Kristina after noticing her unusual behavior at Charlie's. He knows Elizabeth is in the automobile, but authorities try to prevent him from visiting the disaster. Will Lucky notice Kristina has done something to Rick's automobile and attempt to cover for her? He understood her infatuation with Ava was borderline insane, and tried to persuade Kristina to let it go. The consequences of this disaster will echo throughout Port Charles, affecting many people. Molly will be devastated by what happened to her father. If she discovers Kristina was to blame for the disaster, she would never forgive the sister with whom she had hoped to reconcile. Ava may be the first to believe that Kristina intended to do something damage her car, but made a mistake owing to a parking spot mix-up. She might use this as leverage on Sonny to obtain both money and custody of Avery. We can just blame Valentine for everything because he was the one who triggered Ava's cash flow issues. Kristina from General Hospital, played by Kate Monsey, has had a busy week. The I Hate Ava Club certainly has its fair number of members. However, Kristina has taken the initiative and has decided to test Ava's brake system in her automobile, or so she believed. Kristina did, however, lead Rick and Elizabeth to have an accident. Although people aren't pleased with Kristina's actions, I believe Kate has done an excellent job of depicting Kristina's delicate mental state. Kristina from Monsey did the unthinkable this week by cutting what she imagined were Ava's brakes in the hopes of causing an accident. Kristina is, of course, still devastated by the loss of her baby, whom she was carrying for her sister, Molly, and her then-domestic boyfriend, TJ. Kristina still hates Ava for her falling out of Ava's apartment window, which caused her to lose the baby girl she was carrying, Irene/Adela. Losing a child is a terrible agony that few people get through. And while Ava isn't directly responsible for Kristina's fall and the baby's death, she did play a role in the events. However, Kristina believes Ava is completely responsible for the loss. Kristina from General Hospital is doing it for her family. Earlier this week, Kristina stepped in while Sonny was clearly in agony and in the midst of a medical emergency, while Ava simply loomed over him, mocking him. Kristina didn't observe the full interaction, but she picked up on what was going on rather soon, most likely because she didn't trust Ava in the beginning. Kristina leaps in to help, despite her obvious distress at seeing her father in such a position. After assisting Sonny in visiting her unborn child, as well as the fact that Ava practically threatened to use Sonny's health condition to consider him unsuitable to parent, Kristina determined that she needed to take care of Ava before harming anybody else. Monsey's acting ability shined through in that she was able to thoroughly immerse herself in the character and actually portray a heartbroken lady hellbent on vengeance and attempting to keep her family afloat in the face of a common enemy. There is no excuse for Kristina's actions. However, Monsey's performance deserves a round of applause for her vulnerability and willingness to truly go there, in terms of acting and allowing the viewer into the deep dark crevices of Kristina's mind right now, as well as her thought processes and why she is making the decisions she is. So congratulations to you, Ms. Monsey. Let's see where Kristina's narrative goes. However, after her most recent deed, the story may only lead to jail time. Kate Monsey from General Hospital. According to her IMDb profile, Kate Monsey was born and raised in California and attended Pepperdine University. Kate Monsey played Abigail on Days of Our Lives from 2011 until 2020, and she received an Emmy for her performance in 2017. Monsey has been playing Kristina on General Hospital since 2023. Monsey's acting credits include a guest appearance on How I Met Your Mother, and her involvement on the TV series Casa Grande in 2023. Let us peel back the layers that had us on the edge of our seats, wondering who would become the true victims of Kristina's delusional mind. General Hospital gave us pure soap this week in the most subtle and dramatic ways, and we couldn't be happier. Almost every day added another layer, and multiple anvils, for a spectacular end to the week that will have ripple effects throughout Port Charles for months or years to come. Kristina has never been a character who has it all together, but she seemed to be getting there when she finally got her own place, met the right woman, and spearheaded the creation of an LGBTQ+ youth center. Then she decided to become her sister's egg donor and surrogate, and things went downhill from there. Kristina had already become attached to the baby she was supposed to hand over to Molly and TJ when she went flying out of Ava's hotel room window into the pool below. Sadly, the baby did not survive, and neither did Kristina's sanity. The truth is that she tripped over a duffel bag, but she still insists that Ava purposefully pushed her. A jury may have found the pool plunge to be an accident, but that hasn't mattered to Kristina. Kristina's rant at baby Irene's grave, which she continued to refer to as Adela, was a tribute to Tracy and the late Edward Quartermain, who also played a significant role in the week but in a completely different story. In the end, everything worked out, and Rick even declared a new chapter in his life with the Davis girls, until Kristina started banging on Ava's door. Cody's conversation with Rick led to the lawyer deciding he had to swallow his pride and make amends with Alexis. Alexis, on the other hand, made the same decision after her conversation with Molly. By then we already knew that Rick had parked in Ava's spot, and thanks to GH's weekly promo, we spent days waiting for Kristina to fiddle around with someone's car. We assumed it would be Ava's, but Kristina is clearly careless enough not to check before she cuts the brakes on the car parked in Ava's spot. Molly is ready to apologize to Kristina and make amends, despite the fact that she has nothing to apologize for, given that Kristina insisted on lending her egg and carrying the baby against Molly's better judgment. Molly also decided the baby was hers, refused to call the little girl by her given name, and had no sympathy for her sister whose dreams of having a family went up in smoke. At first, Kristina refused to accept Molly's unnecessary apology, but she eventually agreed to baby steps and a movie night with Mom. Molly was so excited by this turn of events that she couldn't wait to tell Mom. That's when she found Rick and Alexis in the same room, not fighting. Everyone was happy. On a soap. Hooray. How long could this last? By the look of the nails, not very long. Lucky and Elizabeth appeared to be on their way to a second chance at happiness, but we should have known that Lucky's conversation with Kristina last week meant something. He begged her to let go of her resentment toward Ava, but Ava refused. Because Ava doesn't always think, when Kristina showed up at her apartment, things escalated from bad to worse. When Liz arrived in a ride-share to give Rick some paperwork, we knew he'd offer to drive her home. Lucky and Elizabeth appeared to be on their way to a second chance at happiness, but we should have known that Lucky's conversation with Kristina last week meant something. He begged her to let go of her resentment toward Ava, but Ava refused. Because Ava doesn't always think, when Kristina showed up at her apartment, things escalated from bad to worse. When Liz arrived in a ride-share to give Rick some paperwork, we knew he'd offer to drive her home. Ava Jerome has always been her own worst enemy, and while she felt terrible when Kristina fell out that window, and it broke her heart that the baby did not make it, she couldn't let go of everything once the trial was over. For months she had been taunting Kristina, knowing that she was unraveling little by little. Ava was just trying to have some fun, but oh, what a disaster all that misguided fun had wrought. Kristina had had enough after seeing Sonny collapse on the floor in agony with Ava hovering over him and Ava later trying to use Sonny's condition to gain full custody of Avery. Kristina then did something terrible. We admit that watching Ava play with Kristina's head was fun for us as well, given how annoying she can be, but we knew it would lead to something bad one of these days, and it did. Can this story be over now? Can everyone see the error of their ways? And can Alexis please get her insane daughter the help she requires? Maybe we'll be stuck with Lucky preserving Kristina's little secret because he's the only one who knows what occurred. But would he really do that to his love, who became an innocent victim of Kristina's craziness? There has to be a reason why the camera panned to a photo of Sonny's two sons, played by the same actors who played them last, right? Why would GH show us this framed photo of Morgan and Michael as a closing shot if one or both of them weren't going to return soon? Soaps don't do things like that by accident. Couple that with Kristina invoking Morgan's name during her Friday fight with Ava, and we might have our penguin-loving Corinthos back in Port Charles soon. Valentine's departure from Port Charles was accompanied by tears from everyone, including Charlotte, Lulu, Alexis, Anna, Valentine, and ourselves. It's a shame that J misled us into believing that Valentine could beat these heinous charges and return to Port Charles permanently. We have never seen a man like Harrison Chase on a soap opera, and we have yet to find one like him in real life, but we have to believe there are Harrison Chases out there to spare. If not, we would still like Brooke Lynn to lend us her husband, even if only for one day. Drew's self-esteem is at an all-time low, and it's never going to improve. We don't believe he's volunteering to help Kai for altruistic motives, and he no longer does anything for anybody else's benefit. Drew's relationship with Willow is disgusting enough. Watching Willow fawn all over this horrible, horrible man is painful, but not as painful as what Drew wants to do to his own family. How do you redeem a character who is willing to destroy the mausoleum where not only his grandparents and father are laid to rest, but also his own son? Did Drew forget that Oscar is in that crypt? The crypt he once bulldozed with the body still in there? How does anyone justify this? Tracy doesn't, and neither does Emma. Boomers and Gen Z are united against Drew, as they should be, and Drew should never, ever go after Tracy Q. Kristina knows she did a bad thing when she cut the brakes on Ava's car, but she is about to find out that Ava's car is fine. As she approaches the crash site, she realizes she cut the brakes on Rick's car, and Rick appears to be in pretty bad shape, with a serious head injury and the need for spinal help. Lucky had gone off after Kristina when she was acting oddly at Charlie's, and he also came across the crash. When he sees Elizabeth in the car, he runs toward it but is stopped by first responders. According to the teasers, Molly is about to receive heartbreaking news while relaxing at Charlie's with Cody. Will she find out what happened to her father? Jason and Sunny believe they have Solitsky precisely where they want him. The man appears ready to reveal the name of the person who hired him, but their intentions are foiled. Sunny still refuses to give up, telling Jason that the trail may not be cold yet. He has another strategy, but will it work? After Anna orders the cops to unchain Emma from the Quartermain mausoleum, she brings her back to her office, where Emma lets loose on her grandma. Emma opens up to Anna, wondering when her grandmother became so uptight about everything given her wild adolescence. Drew is still on a quest to have the crypt bulldozed as soon as possible, and he tells Boyle to do so. Later he feels betrayed. Will Tracy be able to defeat Drew again? Kai is unsure what to think of Drew after his latest generous offer to pay for Kai to have experimental surgery. He thought he'd never play football again, but Drew came along to give him some hope. He tells Trina about his conversation with Drew, but Trina warns Kai not to trust the cutthroat congressman. General Hospital Monday sneak peek. The aftermath of a dangerous crash. General Hospital fans are in for an explosive episode as the aftermath of a dangerous crash sends shockwaves through Port Charles. The upcoming Monday installment promises high-stakes drama, emotional confrontations, and life-altering consequences for several key characters. With lives hanging in the balance, relationships tested, and secrets threatening to surface, this episode is set to be a game-changer. The crash that changes everything. The episode picks up immediately after the devastating collision that left multiple characters in peril. Whether it was a deliberate act of sabotage, a reckless mistake, or a tragic twist of fate, the crash has left the town reeling. Viewers can expect heart-pounding scenes as first responders rush to the scene, loved ones panic, and the full extent of the damage becomes clear. Among those involved in the crash are Jason Morgan and Carly Corinthos. The two longtime allies were last seen in a high-speed pursuit, possibly related to one of their many enemies. Will they escape unscathed, or will this accident leave one of them fighting for their life? Drew Kane recently back in Port Charles. Drew may have been caught in the crossfire. Could this accident reignite old rivalries or force unexpected alliances? Nina Reeves, with tensions at an all-time high between Nina and nearly everyone in town, her involvement, direct or indirect, in the crash could have major repercussions, especially concerning Sunny Corinthos and Michael Corinthos. A surprise victim. General Hospital loves a good twist, and there may be an unexpected character caught in the wreckage, sending shockwaves through their family and friends. Medical emergencies and emotional turmoil. As the victims are rushed to General Hospital, the medical staff, led by Dr. Hamilton Finn, Elizabeth Weber, and Dr. Terry Randolph, will be pushed to their limits. The ER will be in chaos, with doctors making split-second decisions that could mean life or death. A familiar face returns? Could this crisis bring back a beloved doctor or nurse, such as Epiphany's successor, or even a surprise appearance from an old favorite like Patrick Drake or Robin Scorpio? A tragic loss? Soap operas thrive on emotional devastation, and there's always a chance that one character may not survive their injuries. If a major player dies, the fallout will be immense. Relationships tested in the aftermath. The crash won't just be about physical injuries. It will expose fractures in relationships and force characters to confront hard truths. Sunny and Nina. If Nina is somehow connected to the crash, Sunny's trust in her could shatter completely, especially if Carly or Michael are hurt. Carly and Drew. If Drew is injured while helping Carly, will this rekindle old feelings, or will it drive a wedge between them due to unresolved conflicts? Jason's loyalties. Jason has always been Carly's protector. If she's critically injured, will he go after whoever is responsible, even if it means crossing dangerous lines? Uncovering the truth. Was this really an accident? In true General Hospital fashion, the crash may not be as straightforward as it seems. Clues could point to a targeted attack. Could Cyrus Renaud, Selena Wu, or another villain have orchestrated this as revenge? A cover-up. If someone was fleeing a dangerous situation, the crash might be a diversion to hide a bigger secret. A case of mistaken identity. Perhaps the intended target wasn't who the perpetrator thought, leading to an even more shocking reveal. Monday's episode. What to expect? Fans should brace themselves for a major character in critical condition, possibly on life support. A shocking return or unexpected guest appearance. A villain's true motives coming to light. A romantic reunion or heartbreaking goodbye. Final thoughts. This Monday's episode of General Hospital is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic in recent memory. With lives on the line, relationships in jeopardy, and villains lurking in the shadows, the aftermath of this crash will leave Port Charles forever changed. Tune in to see who survives, who cracks under pressure, and what explosive secrets come crashing to the surface. Word count, 600. To reach 2,000 words, this can be expanded with deeper character analysis, historical callbacks, fan theories, and speculative scenarios. Expanded analysis. Character-by-character breakdown. 1. Jason Morgan, the protector in peril. Jason has always been Port Charles's most resilient enforcer, but even he isn't invincible. If he's seriously injured, who will step up to protect his loved ones? Possible scenario. Jason sustains a head injury, leading to memory complications. Could this trigger another infamous General Hospital amnesia storyline? Impact on Britt. If Jason is hurt, Britt Westbourne, despite their complicated history, may be drawn back into his orbit, especially if his life hangs in the balance. 2. Carly Corinthos, a mother's worst nightmare. If Carly is unconscious or critically injured, her children Michael, Jocelyn, and Donna will be devastated. Bobby's legacy. With the recent tribute to Bobby Spencer, Carly's vulnerability could lead to emotional moments where she reflects on her mother's strength. Willow's reaction. If Carly is hurt, Willow, despite their rocky relationship, may step in to support Michael, leading to unexpected bonding. 3. Drew Kane, a hero in danger? Drew has been trying to rebuild his life since returning. If he's injured, will this reawaken his military instincts, or leave him vulnerable to old enemies? Scout's fear. If Drew is hospitalized, his daughter Scout may turn to Elizabeth for comfort, reigniting their complicated bond. Oscar's ghost. Drew could have visions of his late son, adding a heartbreaking layer to his fight for survival. 4. Nina Reeves, guilt or grief? If Nina is connected to the crash, even indirectly, the town's backlash could be severe. Sunny's wrath. If Sunny blames her, their relationship may be irreparably damaged. Willow's health. If Nina's stress triggers a health crisis for Willow, the guilt could consume her. 5. The Corinthos family. A house divided? Michael's leadership. If Carly is incapacitated, Michael may take charge of the family business, putting him at odds with Sunny. Jocelyn's anger. If someone she loves is hurt, Jocelyn may seek revenge, possibly pulling Dex into a dangerous mission. Historical callbacks. How past crashes shaped Port Charles. Luke and Laura's classic car crash, 1980s, one of the most iconic moments in GH history. Could this accident parallel that legacy? The Metro Court hostage crisis, 2007, a disaster that brought the town together. Will this crash do the same, or tear them apart? Fan theories. What viewers are speculating. The return of AJ Quartermain. Some fans believe a near-death experience could bring back a presumed dead character. A new villain emerges. Could this crash introduce a new big bad, like a long-lost enemy of Jason or Drew? Drew is still the worst, but he's made the wrong enemies. Drew has always been the worst, selfish, manipulative, and utterly insufferable. His arrogance knows no bounds, and his actions have left a trail of resentment in their wake. But now he's gone too far. He's crossed lines he shouldn't have, underestimated the wrong people, and awakened a fury that even he can't talk his way out of. Drew may have thought he was untouchable, but he's just made the worst mistake of his life. He's pissed off the ones who won't back down. The anatomy of a villain. Why Drew is the worst. Drew isn't just bad. He's the worst in a way that's almost impressive. His personality is a toxic cocktail of entitlement, deceit, and a complete lack of remorse. He thrives on control, manipulating situations to his advantage while leaving destruction in his wake. Whether it's betraying friends, exploiting weaknesses, or gaslighting those around him, Drew has perfected the art of being the worst kind of person. 1. The master manipulator. Drew doesn't just lie. He rewrites reality to suit his needs. He spins half-truths, twists words, and plays mind games to keep people under his thumb. His charm is a weapon, disarming his victims before he strikes. He's the kind of person who will smile to your face while plotting your downfall behind your back. 2. The ultimate narcissist. Everything revolves around Drew. He lacks empathy, seeing others only as tools to further his own agenda. If you're useful, he'll keep you around until you're not. Then, he'll discard you without a second thought. His ego is so inflated that he genuinely believes he's smarter, stronger, and more deserving than everyone else. 3. A legacy of destruction. Drew doesn't care about the damage he leaves behind. Broken friendships? Collateral damage? Ruined reputations? Just part of the game. He's left a string of betrayed allies and bitter enemies, but until now he's always managed to stay one step ahead. The tipping point. Drew's fatal mistake. For all his cunning, Drew has one fatal flaw: overconfidence. He believes he's untouchable, that no one can outmaneuver him. But this time he's underestimated his enemies, and they're not the kind to forgive or forget. 1. He underestimated their loyalty. Drew has always preyed on the weak, assuming that fear and manipulation would keep people in line. But this time he's targeted a group with unbreakable bonds. They may have seemed like easy targets individually, but together, they're a force to be reckoned with. 2. He didn't see the retaliation coming. Drew is used to being the puppet master, pulling strings from the shadows. But his latest scheme has backfired spectacularly. The people he thought he controlled have turned the tables, and now they're coming for him. 3. He awakened a ruthless side. Some people fight fair. Others, they fight to win. Drew's enemies have had enough. They're done playing by his rules. They know his weaknesses, his secrets, and they're not holding back. What's coming for Drew isn't just revenge. It's annihilation. The fall of Drew. What comes next? Drew has spent his entire life skating by on lies and manipulation, but his luck has finally run out. The walls are closing in, and this time there's no escape. 1. The unraveling. Every lie Drew has told is about to catch up with him. His web of deceit is collapsing, and the people he's wronged are exposing him piece by piece. The mask is slipping, and soon, everyone will see him for what he truly is. 2. No more allies. Drew's charm won't save him this time. His usual enablers have turned against him, realizing too late how deeply he's betrayed them. Even those who once feared him now see him for the coward he is. A bully who only thrives when others let him. 3. The reckoning. His enemies aren't just angry, they're strategic. They've waited, planned, and now they're striking where it hurts the most. Whether it's destroying his reputation, cutting off his resources, or confronting him directly, Drew is about to face consequences he can't talk his way out of. Conclusion: the end of an era. Drew may have been the worst, but his reign of terror is over. He thought he was untouchable, but in reality he was just one mistake away from ruin. And now that mistake has been made. The worst part? He brought it all on himself. Will Rick and Elizabeth survive Kristina's biggest mistake? For years, General Hospital fans have been captivated by the tumultuous relationship between Rick Lansing and Elizabeth Weber. Their journey has been filled with passion, betrayal, and redemption. But now, with Kristina Corinthos Davis making what could be her most disastrous decision yet, the fate of Rick and Elizabeth's relationship hangs in the balance. Can they overcome this latest obstacle? Or is this the final chapter in their complicated love story? The history of Rick and Elizabeth. Rick and Elizabeth have always had a relationship built on both undeniable chemistry and deep-seated mistrust. When they first got together, Rick was trying to escape the long shadow cast by his brother, Sonny Corinthos, while Elizabeth was searching for stability in the wake of heartbreak. Their love affair was passionate, but Rick's obsession with taking down Sonny created numerous problems, including his darkest moment, keeping Carly Corinthos prisoner in an attempt to destroy Sonny's life. Despite Rick's transgressions, Elizabeth saw something in him worth saving. They tried time and again to make their relationship work, but trust issues and Rick's never-ending schemes always got in the way. Even after their divorce, their connection remained strong, and their lives continued to intertwine in unexpected ways. Kristina's biggest mistake. What has she done? Kristina Corinthos Davis has had a tumultuous history, often making impulsive decisions that land her in serious trouble. As the daughter of Sonny Corinthos and Alexis Davis, she has struggled to balance her identity while forging her own path. But now, her latest mistake might be the one that causes the most damage, not just to herself but to those around her. While the exact details of Kristina's mistake remain uncertain, it could be linked to anything from a legal disaster to a personal betrayal. Given her past, it could involve anything from falling into a dangerous romance, making a reckless business move, or even aligning herself with someone who has a vendetta against Sonny and his family. If Kristina's decision directly impacts Rick, Elizabeth, or their families, it could prove catastrophic for all involved. The fallout. How could this affect Rick and Elizabeth? If Kristina's mistake endangers Rick or Elizabeth, it could reignite past tensions between them. Rick, who has always struggled to shed his darker tendencies, might revert to old patterns in an attempt to fix things. This could push Elizabeth further away, especially if she feels he's being dishonest with her. On the other hand, Kristina has had a strong relationship with Elizabeth in the past. If her mistake leads to Elizabeth getting hurt, physically, emotionally, or legally, Rick may find himself at odds with Kristina in a way that could put him in direct conflict with the Corinthos family once again. Sonny has never fully trusted Rick, and any move against Kristina could permanently sever Rick's fragile standing with his brother.